No, sorry, I didn't even realize you were there. It says still that I have 0 viewers. I'm sorry, man. Did you get my IM, by the way? I'll totally send you one. I got them all right here. Let's see. Nope, not you. Switches, switches. The adept loves switches. Yes, Kikobo, RWB. Apparently, this is like $200 worth of switches. Who knew? Because apparently OG with Envier Panda housings sell for like $2 a switch. Well, if you would like, send me some information. I'll get one in the mail to you. If you actually wanted one, or you were just, you know, being like that. So, arts and crafts today. I'm very excited. It's not often I get to really use my former hobby in my current hobby. I have 2 projects that I have that will be more of my former hobby was miniature painting. So I'm not great, but that was pretty good. The problem is that as I got older, I painted those. Unfortunately, as I got older, I found that I hunch when I paint, and it wrecks my back. Not that my back isn't already wrecked, but so I'm hoping that since we're just trying to get some paint into a groove. Hey, Fetty, how are you doing? I'm hoping that since I'm just trying to get some paint into grooves, that it's not going to be as big a deal. But we're going to do it properly. I got my craft mat out, and we're going to put the Kikobo away. We'll do an opening, an unboxing of the ERA75. And then we're going to see if we can do better than some switches. The paint that we're going to be using today, hey, what's going on, WizTech? Is going to be this. This is the Wavelength paint by Turbo Dork. And it is a color transitioning. Oh, okay, let's see. Oh. You get to check out the t-shirt today, which is our Switch t-shirt. Thank you, sir. I actually need it. I am. So Freya, she likes to visit this local auction site, and recently she purchased for me a half rack, an unbuilt half computer rack. Oh, that's not great. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, and I hope your family is doing better, but yeah, I'll try to keep you occupied for at least an hour. I'm not sure how well that's gonna go. And then I realized that y'all aren't getting the music because I had that channel muted. Yeah, man. What's up, Venom? That's funny. Or I could wear my keyboard t-shirt underneath it. Triple layer. So this is today's keyboard, not the one we're actually going to be looking at, just, you know, the one that's on my desk. So whenever I stream, I like to post the specs for this keyboard under the exclamation point keyboard option, but we will be putting it away for these purposes. Oh, so speaking of the Athena, last night I went to go use my Athena 1800, and this whole row of keys has stopped working on my keyboard. I'm like, oh man. I reached out to KBD fans this morning, but I was sad. I'm like, oh, I love that keyboard. That's the Athena 1800. You know, I like to change up the mouse. I have a bunch of mouse pads. Yeah, this is just one of them. I wanted something a little bit more neutral. All right, man. Thanks for stopping by. If you come back, I'll try to be amusing. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I didn't have time to really, like, work with it last night. Coffee. Once again, today's coffee is Geek Grind coffee. It is the Goblin's Greed, which we've had on the channel before. So this is the ERA75 by Womier. It's kind of a kitschy little board that has this design on it, but it uses stickers so that you can pick and choose what you want to put as accents. So this is the accessory box. We get some spare switches. These are the one of their linear switches. That's each one of their switches is color coded. We have our dongle, which I do not believe has a place for it inside. What else do we have here? Some additional accent keys. Another key, the home key. Tweezers, which would be used to apply said stickers. And then the keycap switch puller, a non-braided, simple rubberized A to C cable. Oh, sorry, unfocusing. And I think that is all that's in the accessory box. And then we have the keyboard itself. which we will take out and set to the side real quick. Oh. As you can see, everything on it is currently black. It is a simple-ish box on wedge. But with these strongly chamfered edges, almost cherry lip. But that's not all. So these are the stickers that you could put on. And they are gold accented. We will not be using these today because we're going to be doing our own. And then a card that has the key mappings on it, which is nice. We'll actually keep that out for now. A manual in different languages. Which shows the sticker installation guide and where they should go. And then finally, a second manual. Second of the exact same manual, it looks like. Yep, same manual. So they just gave us two. All right. We'll put this back in. Keep all that stuff out. Get this box out of the way. And then we'll bring back the star of the show so that you can see it. The reason for the home knob and the reason there are 3 of the extra switches is because this will come out and there is another socket here that you could then put your switches in. We're going to keep the knob because that's nice. Very similar to what we saw on that. Absolutely. Let's do a quick sound test. So these are full palm switches. We'll pause the music. And this is the stock experience of the ERA75 by Womier, with their, like I said, stock palm switches and double shot PBT keycaps. Yep, it's a very thought keyboard, which, you know, is kind of where I go, so. There's a little bit of a rattle here on the right side. Not enough to really bother somebody who is not really dialed into the hobby. If you just kind of are your regular old person doing keyboards, you know, just want something for your desk, this is really a nice board. Why, thank you. I wish my hands weren't so dry. My cuticles are a mess. I shouldn't have said anything if you didn't notice. Okay, so this is the stock experience, and we could rebuild it. I have obviously a bunch of switches that we could try in it. I also have a couple of GMK sets, Norse and Metropolis, that are standing by. But first, but first, for those of you who are watching the new season of Big Brother, we're going to try something. So I've got my handy dandy. This is a Reaper Miniatures Pro Paint Zero paintbrush. So it's not my finest tip paintbrush, but it's pretty up there. Then we have our Turbo Dork Wavelength, and we're gonna see if, and I don't even know if this is gonna work because this is just, you know, brand new for me. But we're gonna see if we can get this to take the paint. This is one of my wet palettes. These are acrylic paints. No, do I need to clear it? Did I? It's been a while since I used this paint because the aforementioned I can't really paint anymore. So we are going to pinhole this. My little, it's like I'm advertising for Reaper today because got my little dragon head pin. Okay, let's see, is that better? Get a healthy amount out there. Set you off to the side. Set you off to the side. Since this is acrylic, it is water-based. So we can add a little bit of water to thin it out. Because you want to thin out this paint in order to make it work. And then I'm going to take off my glasses so that I can see. And then we'll just go for it. So what I'm going for here is going to be a subtle effect. Since I am brushing it on, I am expecting there to be brush marks when I'm done, but we'll see. Turbo Dork is kind of a weird paint because it doesn't actually paint on the, like, you don't see it until you get to like the second or third layer, and then it just comes up as Again, a color shift. So I did. Oh, I was showing off some earlier. Here's one that I painted. There we go. Here's one of my actual little figures. Yes, except for when I play pool. I play pool with my right hand, primarily. It's kind of a weird thing, but I am left-handed. Now, if this doesn't work, we will go back to the stickers. We have them available, obviously. Okay. Let's do this. Let's get a little bit more water in here. Oh, I forgot to restart the music. I'm like, it's so quiet. I'm so concentrating. I'm like totally locked in. I'm gonna bring the music up a little bit higher today than usual because I am painting. Oh, well, you have a great rest of your day. I hope everything gets better for you and your family. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, okay. Oh, that A is going to lurk. Oh, okay, cool. I also have a lurk command that congratulates you for stopping by and lurking with me. Which seems kind of counterintuitive now, but I just thought it was fun. Nice, thank you. Oh, how are you liking the next Pro? Because I think it's working really well for me. I think it's funny that my first painting stream is on a keyboard. Because I've been painting miniatures for years. Like, over a decade. one side of the bottom is done. Yeah, I really hope it comes out. Mm. Oop, messed that up. Oh, I missed one on that side. As Fozzie Bear would say, moving right along. That's a hard question to answer. And the main reason is because you don't know what things will be, what would be a reasonable amount of money to have in the future. Like, when I was a kid, the thought of being a millionaire would be something that people would strive for because they thought that they could live their entire life if they had $1 million. That's why there's a song by the Bare Naked Ladies called "If I Had $1 Million." And today, we know that is not the case anymore. But not only that, but it also depends on a person's lifestyle. Some people, and I'm counting myself in that category, have expensive tastes. So the things that they want, or in this case that I want, cost a lot of money. You know, like a Seneca. And if you don't know what a Seneca is, I would not know, because I am I neither have great money nor great financial responsibility. It is one of the things that I work on. I grew up very poor. So, well, not very poor. I grew up very lower middle class. So, but I never felt like I had money growing up. I always felt like all my friends were able to get things, whereas I would just watch from the sidelines. Very sad. Well, not really. I always had food. I always had a roof over my head. So I am better than a lot of people. And these days I own my own house. Even if I do have 2 mortgages on it. Which is a big deal in America. Yes. Freya and I spent over a decade wanting to buy a house and not doing it for various reasons. And so back in 2019, I finally felt stable enough in my job. I guess look where that went. But for us to look into it. And we found this place that we live in now. And we got a secured home loan from the state, which included a flat 5% interest rate, which is not great, but is better than what it is now. And then a year later, after we bought the house, we were able to refinance down to 2.875, which is really good, and in today's market is crazy good. We managed to refinance right at the right time, which was right at the beginning of the pandemic. We had to sign the paperwork, socially distancing in our garage, with the door open. You gambled all your points. I don't know what that means. Well, the one thing I would say to anybody these days is gamble on getting a good education if you have the means. Don't mess it up like I did. All right. So that is layer 1. Hey Jabronis, we're doing arts and crafts today. We're painting a keyboard. We're starting layer 2. Right? We're going to see if we can get this hopefully to look better than it would with stickers, which is what comes with the ERA75. The goal I'm looking for is kind of it's going to be an iridescent color shift. There may end up being paint lines, like brush strokes, but, you know, that'll just make it a little bit more mine. You're supposed to do 3 layers. It says 2 to 3. So we'll see where we're at after 2. My biggest concern is that I won't have enough paint. Because miniature bottles are not made for painting the undersides of keyboards. But it does look like I might need a 3rd layer. So let's see where we're at right now. Well, actually, this is coming up on camera much better than it is in real life. So, obviously, I'm going to need more layers than this. And the iridescent effect is not coming through on camera at all. Oh, hey, look. Hydrate. That's good. Coffee. Gotta have the coffee part of keyboards and coffee. So let's course, then the fun thing is, hey, what's going on? What's on, FireTech? How are you doing this morning? Or whatever time it is where you are. Doing arts and crafts? I think at this rate, we may only get done with the bottom today. But I am going to finish the bottom before the end of the stream. I like the sea salt V3s. Actually, I'm kind of later on today, I'll be dropping the video for the TH108 Pro V2 with the sea salt silent linears. I've already done the actual recording. I just gotta edit it. I don't know when. It might be your tomorrow before that actually gets put up though. Oh no. Oh, well, you said, yeah, that you weren't doing great. Is that what's going on? Your whole family's just sick, or? I have been taking, for a few years now, lisinopril and hydrochlorothiazide for blood pressure, and my blood pressure is now normal. At least as long as I take my meds. As I work my way this way, I should have been working my way this way. I realize that now, because I'm trying to avoid putting my hand into the wet paint, you know, like you do. But it's a oh, yeah, that all. It's not great. Well, I'm glad you're feeling well enough to spend the morning with me, or afternoon, evening with me. Okay. New stretch. Switch t-shirt. If you haven't seen it yet, take it in. It's really cool. Thank you. All right. That was probably the most productive stretch I've had this morning. So, here's where we're at. Everything is starting to fill in. Like I said, there are paint lines. They're less visible in person, though. I still have this section right here to go before we do our third layer. Is there any keyboard stuff that y'all are excited to see? Excited to get that you picked up recently, or I have to live vicariously at this point? I am currently on a buying freeze because of the work thing. Although I do have an exciting project. I don't know who is aware of the exciting project on here. Oh, the H65 TMR. That's cool. I have the 75. And I was excited to see that they've now, at least through their website, if not through Amazon yet, they have started selling the Creamy Jade HE switches independently, which is great, because those are some really good switches. If you need HE switches, I would suggest checking them out. The only problem with it so far is that they only sell it in packs of 70. But they're not that expensive. They're like 32 cents a switch, so for HE, that's crazy sauce. Okay, layer 2 is done. So now we're going to start on our third layer, and this will be our last layer for this, hopefully. And then we will see where we're at. All right, well, you have a good night, and thanks for stopping by. I hope you feel better. Hope all your family feels better. High blood pressure is rough, and all that other stuff. Hey, bye. Okay, let's do a little more. This is the paint we're using. It is by a company called Turbo Dork, and it is called Wavelength. And when completed, it should have kind of an iridescent that you see on the label. Adding some water to thin it out a little because it is an acrylic paint, therefore it is water soluble. So not on camera, but off camera, I am going to be doing something similar, but I'll be doing it to the entire case of a Keychron Q2, but with a different color. And I'll be doing it airbrushed. So it should not have any of these paint lines that I'm making on here. Hmm. Oh, WizTech Gamer left before I had a chance to talk about my project. For those of you who don't know, I am in the middle of making a new Keyboard Hub website, a place where everybody can keep track of their keyboards, their switches, their keycaps, all in one place. And then you can put your builds in there. You can just drag and drop your switches onto your keyboards in there to keep track of what's on what. And then same with switches and stabilizers. Then you can take pictures and then you can post them to a build, and then you can also upload them to a database that is then accessible by everybody, so that everybody can look up information on eventually any keyboard if you all do your part. I think it's very exciting. It's still in the development stages because, you know, web design, or, you know, making everything work the way I want it to. But oh, hey, thanks for the raid. Wow. We are doing keyboard arts and crafts this morning. We're just kind of finishing up, hoping this comes out the way I want it to. And then we'll look at my project a little while it dries, and then maybe do a rebuild. How are you doing today? How was your stream? Were you building a keyboard, or? Well, sawing is tiring work, because Sawing. What were you sawing? Oh, oh wow. That's awesome. A lifetime ago, I played the saxophone. But that is the end of my musical. That, and I know all kinds of music. Okay, all right, let's see here. Rinse off the brush. And clean it a little bit. Need to clean it a lot. Oh, where's the stuff? Okay. So this is my old brush cleaner. So you just take a little water, drop it in here, and you just run your brush across it, and it cleans it. When I originally had people suggest that I use this, I thought that they were crazy. I'm like, it's just stuff, you know? Like, it's not gonna clean my brush. And then I did it, and I was like, holy freak, holy. So you then build up kind of a little layer on here, and you just pull that off. Now this paint is a little different in that it has a different consistency because of how it works, and this shows off brush strokes and some of the stuff that I need to clean, and it doesn't really show off the iridescence. That's kind of the sad part, because it's there. You know, I can see it. Like if I come in at an angle, there you go. You can kind of get, there's the purple, and then the green, and there's the blue. So yeah, no, it actually does what I expected it to do, and I think that it came out relatively well, like I said. And we're only going to do the bottom today, and I'm going to save this. So this palette brush, and this palette allows it to stay wet. I keep it level so that the paint doesn't drift, but it doesn't matter because that's the only thing that's on it. And then here's the keyboard, and we'll do the top, and I'll show it off. Here's the RGB, if you're interested. This is removable. Oh, actually, let's go ahead and If you've never seen this, this is the Nerd Forge craft mat. Make stuff with stories. That's what I hope to do. And if you're not familiar with Nerd Forge, they're a YouTube channel of DIYers. And they're pretty awesome. They're based out of Sweden, I think. All right. So let's take a look at the keyboard a little bit more after I drink a little bit more coffee. I had that page up. I do, it's right here. That. I'm so messy in my obs. Actually, I don't really play CS. I mostly play Rust. The mouse is a brand new mouse called the Next Pro by EpoMaker, friend of the channel, as you can see right there. They sent it to me to test out and to show off on my stream, and I love this. If you it is a fancy mouse. WebDriver, which this keyboard, which we're talking about today, is VIA compatible. So you don't need to download any software or even use any web-based software by the company. You can just go to VIA, and you'll have to put in a JSON file. But this is the keyboard. Again, it's the Womier ERA75, 75%. It is an aluminum case, standard 6063, I believe, aluminum. It has wireless, wired, and Bluetooth. However, there is no place to actually put the dongle for the wireless. So, which if you're going to be gaming with it, don't do it anyway, because you'll have higher latency. Here's the VIA compatibility. It has an 8,000 milliamp hour battery. So it says 350 hours. It is not going to give you 350 hours. You're lucky if you get 12, especially if the RGB is on. I don't know where they get that crazy number from. Unless it runs EMK, which it doesn't. So here are basically the layers. You've got a PC plate. There's Poron, XPE, a PET sheet. All of these foams give you kind of that marbly sound. Not marbly, but more thocky. I don't know who that is. Okay. This is an out-of-the-box sound. I don't really know that I need to change out the switches on this keyboard. So There are no obvious screws on the bottom. You have a frame here. Oh, sorry. There are no obvious screws on the bottom. You have a frame here, which means that I am suspecting that this is going to be a hidden screw design. There are a lot of flex cuts in this plate. Yep, there you go. So you can see here, right here is a hole that you have to unscrew in order to get to the screw. Or you have to unscrew in order to get into the case. Where you can remove foam, because right now, like your flex is almost non-existent, even though it should have a lot more flex to it. One interesting thing that this keyboard has is you can actually remove the knob. If you don't need or want the knob, you can actually put an extra key there if you like. Make sure when you're putting it back in, if you want, that you line up the 3-pin side with the 3-pin side. Then it just drops in. Don't force it, but push it down with a little bit of force, and you have your knob back. But what I was thinking about, these are double shot PBT keycaps, pretty thick, but I was thinking about what if we went with something a little bit more GMK. If you are unfamiliar with computer keyboards, GMK is a manufacturer of high-end keycaps, and so we're just going to go ahead. I don't think we're going to change out the switches. We're just going to change out the keycaps. So we have two choices that I've brought to the scene today for us to use, and then we'll look at the file. I'll need to grab that JSON file. So this is a non-exploded 75%, so there's no separation here with the arrow cluster. There is a light spreader in here, which is good because they use black housing switches, so that's going to dim your light some, your RGB, if you're into RGB. When I'm pulling out the keycaps, unfortunately the switches are coming with it because of this polycarbonate plate is kind of a soft plastic. The switches just don't grab onto it. If you hear kind of a whirring in the background, it's because my neighbor 2 doors down has one of those little electric leaf blowers, and he will walk up and down the street, or not street, our path outside, and leaf blow. I think it's cathartic for him, like zen. But he does it like at least once a day, usually around this time. Just leaf blows the area, the walking path out in front of from basically all of the units of our townhouses. There's like 5. They're like 5 because there is 5. So these are the stock Womier full palm switches. It uses plate-mounted stabilizers. I'm not sure if it supports non-plate mounted stabilizers. Why don't we open up the case? I do want to open up the case. I'm like, I don't want to open up the case. And I'm like, let's open up the case. So ephemeral. Ethereal? I don't know. One of those words. An word. tell I'm a product of the American education system, or at least the Louisiana education system. Oh, why am I? Put the switch in. Oh, and thanks for the follow. I don't know why I didn't notice that. Like, I saw it and did not register. So the coffee this morning is from a company called Geek Grind. Ooh. Ooh. So it's not punched out, but it looks like we may support step caps. Let's find out. I'm just gonna drop it in here. It should go face up. And sure enough, this keyboard supports step caps. And we're gonna leave that as step caps because we're gonna put in new keycaps, which will include, well, we will include a step keycaps. Step caps. That word. I don't know why my craziness is. I feel the need to say stepped caps like 15 times. What it doesn't support is both, well, we'll double check when we get it open, but it does not seem as if it supports ISO, obviously, because we do not have this open area here that would allow us to do that. We can see if the PCB supports it, but not the plate, which I've run into on Womier keyboards in the past. So to be clear, you could just run this stock. It's good feeling, it's good sounding. So if you just wanted a decent 75% keyboard, mechanical keyboard, you could just pick this up and go and be off to the races. You might need to lube your stabs. I think there was a tick in this side. We're gonna take that out, put that there. And let's see. Is this Phillips? I believe it is. Phillips head. You are. So we have our little tiny Phillips head screwdriver here. I don't know why they insist on using Phillips head, since it is obviously the inferior. And I will likely look to replace these with hex. There are 2, 4, 6, 8 screws that you need to remove in order to take off the top. We will need to remove this switch and probably this switch in order to probably you, maybe both of you, and we'll just do it. The problem with hidden screw designs is that you do end up with a situation where you have to take out the switches, and while in this particular case I'm just kind of going with it, you should when you are taking out your, or putting in your switches, you should support them from the bottom in some fashion. In this case, we won't be able to do that because it has to actually be in the case and screwed down before you put these switches back in, because the screws won't go around the switch. Did I get them all? I did. Okay. So here's our case. Looking good. Here's our plate. You can see the flex cuts every row. You can see the gaskets here. There are 6 gaskets, including one underneath the space. Oh no, there are 8. 2 on the side too. And then you have a ribbon cable. The battery is underneath this compartment, which you can't see. There you go. So there's a compartment there that's held in by 4 Phillips head screws that houses the what look like 2 4,000 milliamp hour batteries. You've got a piece of open cell foam. Why my camera is just being weird, but you can see the open cell foam here. And then looking at the bottom of our PCB, we do in fact have ISO support, so you would have to cut the plastic plate in order to use it. But if you desired, you could actually cut out the plate and make this full ISO. As a matter of fact, it also has the split left shift, which would allow you to make it actual ISO, which is crazy, which I believe you would have to cut the plate for that as well. But you could do a little editing and turn this into a full ISO supported keyboard, which is interesting. And again, you know, it's a thing. They just produce the PCB with all the support and then lock it into place with the plate, which is weird. You have this right here. I don't know what that is. It looks like the reset button, but it doesn't look like it depresses. Then you have the there is no bottom row 7U support or anything like that, sadly. But I mean, overall, I'm not upset about the compatibility. If you wanted to cut the plate here and here. Oh, let's see. One other thing that I wanted to look for was, and I don't see it, there is no, it's only plate mount stabilizers, so you do not have the option to use PCB mounted stabilizers. And yeah, do I want to remove, I'm good. Like, do I want to remove the phone or the gasket from underneath the spacebar? I think I'm not. I think I'm just going to go with it. Did I lose the screw just now? Did I take out all the screws? No, there it is. Okay. Like, did I lose a screw already? Alright, so we should have 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. We do. But let's see. Do they support standard M.2 screws? Which 3 screws. Where's my 2 screws? There. And it looks like they do. So I keep the supply of M2 screws around. I am running low on some of these though. And some of them are escaping into their sister compartments. So it's a fun little upgrade. All right, so the question that burns within us, do we want to go with GMK Metropolis or GMK Norse? I'm thinking with the lines and stuff that aren't really that visible on here, but are there, I'm thinking Metropolis. We can use some aluminum artisans with it. That'd be nice. I think that's gonna work out well. Come on, just one more. You guys quit trying to get into the next bin. That's fine. I'll deal with you later. Everybody's got a screw, yes. And then we'll go ahead and close this. Move you off to the side. Put you back. Put you all back. And one to grow on. This is GMK Metropolis. You can see the line motif, which is really supposed to be reminiscent of like a subway line. Maybe we've got our artisans, which we'll drop on. Come on. Bit of a metallic ping. Here's our step caps, which we will use. Boom. Basic function. take a quick coffee break because this is Keyboards and Coffee. Ah, hits the spot. Our coffee today is the Geek Grind Goblin's Greed coffee. Geek Grind is the company, and we love their stuff and fully support them. Well, I don't know about fully support. We support them because they are small woman-owned business that works with small coffee growers to support local communities. So it's pretty awesome. We're going to go with the red today. I got a function key somewhere around here. Or I do not. So we're going to go with the code. Shift, red arrows, oh wait, actually, let's do that. We're actually going to go with that, and then there. Put control there. I have a plan. It's not a great plan, but it's a plan. And then we're going to go with function over here. And then we'll have our page up, page down. Where's our page up, page down? Oh, there. Oh my. Do I not have those? All right, here we go. Let's go. That's my Jason Mendoza. If you've not watched The Good Place, immediately following this stream, you should go watch The Good Place. All 4 seasons. Okay. So, that being said, we'll go ahead and plug this in. And now we have our rainbow come back. And We will first do a sound test. So this is the stock palm, full palm keycaps, or switches, sorry, with GMK Metropolis keycaps, aluminum accents on the escape and enter key, which I probably won't even press. So let's go ahead and do a sound test. Okay, there's our sound test. It made it clackier, which I kind of expected. I don't think that it's better though. I don't think it might be a little bit worse because I think it emphasizes the harshness of the palm, if that makes sense to anybody. But it's not bad, it's just not as good. I do want to try one thing. So I have a few favorite switches, right? And one of my favorite switches are these. These are the HMX Chew switches. They are a milky housing. I'm suspecting they're going to make this a little bit even more clackier, but might make it smoother sounding. No, made it deeper. And then if we plug it in, we should see a definite difference in our RGB. And you can see the difference, how it has a total underglow as opposed to the other ones. Because of the black housing, only the light spreader, so it's only pushing the light down this way. So you end up with an all-around light, which makes, especially with the PC plate, makes it really nice. So yeah, I think I'm gonna rebuild it with that, but first, #but first, I will be right back. All right, sorry about the delay. Let's go ahead and we're gonna carefully pull my artisans off and put that on the side. Off on the side. Side. Don't do that. Do this 2 rows at a time. And the reason why we're only doing 2 rows at a time is because this is not secured to the PCB, and it is gasket mounted via the plate. If we did not, then the PCB would drop down if we took out all of the switches at the same time. So don't do that. Because you should be able to see whether or not there are any securing connectors. In this case, we see none. And again, this keyboard is perfectly usable stock. If you are a person who just wants to have a keyboard that has this interesting motif, and you like the arts and crafts of either painting it or using the stickers that come with it, then you could just get this and go. You wouldn't have to make any changes whatsoever. I am a person who loves making changes to keyboards, so this is a no-brainer for me. So my cat's so weird. Before he drinks water, he has to scratch around the water bowl. I don't know why. It just seems strange to me. Hey, is the music too loud? I mean, not right now, but... It's going for something very low key. I did not count these. I hope I have enough. I realized that I didn't check in advance. I think I should have plenty, but we'll see. 1 or 2 rows rather. My 4-cap keycap puller is downstairs. Didn't feel like running for it. I'm pretty efficient, I think. Oh, hey, I didn't need to take these 2 out. Go back in. No, we don't have to pull that inner off either. All right. Changing and trying different keycaps and switches are probably some of my most favorite things about the hobby. The interplay of the switches and the keycaps. Even if it's not always the sound that I'm looking for, and especially if it's not the sound I'm looking for, and I have a board that has my sound, and then I go to a meetup, and there's somebody there who has the same board with a totally different sound signature, I'm like, wow. And you get to know people. You get to know people by what sound, what feel, what they prioritize. Whether it's linear or tactile, thocky, clacky. I mean, if you believe in the concept of thocky, I certainly do. Although I tend to use the word deep to refer to thocky, only because there's such a community uproar whenever anybody says the word thocky. There's inevitably going to be somebody who's like, what does that even mean? Can you tell me? And I'm like, it just means that the switches are deep sounding. They're deep sounding without being marbly. Marbly, however, and it might vary from person to person. In my opinion, marbly sound is deep, but it is the sound. If you take 2 pool balls and you clack them together, marbly. And when I hear people talk about marbly, generally, that's what they're describing. Because they'll play a sound from a keyboard, and they're like, that's marbly. And I'm like, that is 2 pool balls getting hit together. Keycaps back on this thing. Do the last 2 rows, which should go a little bit faster because spacebar. And then be good to do the sound test. Okay, and our last 2 rows. And off. Grab our switches. Grab some chew. Not to be confused with grabbing some chaw, which I don't do. I don't do any nicotine anymore. Not really. I'm not against it. It is bad for you. But I just stopped. Hey, Stiletto. How are you? Let me finish this up. I'll show you my arts and crafts. I didn't do the top yet. Well, I'm not going to do the top today. But I did do the bottom. You can kind of see the paint lines. It might even out a little bit when I put on the... Oh, I just woke up. Well, it's Sunday. It's time for sleeping in. I, unfortunately, find it very hard to sleep in. And I wake up without any prompting every morning, currently around 5:30 a.m. Doesn't that suck? I mean, it's nice because I don't have to set my alarm. Oh, did you? You got your MV70. Oh, that's awesome. Did you post pictures anywhere? I'd love to see it. Let's get these on. All right. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, so here's the keyboard. Before we do a sound test, I'll show off my arts and crafts. So here is the bottom. And if you shift it to the side here, you can see that it changes to blue. If you shift it to the other side, you can see that it changes to purple. There's my purple. And then, yeah, here in the center, it's kind of green. It is this paint. It is made by a company called Turbo Dork. It is called, this particular one is called Wavelength. And I will be doing the top of the case, just not on the stream today. And then, yeah, so we put in the HMX Chew switches into this keyboard. And we should get a much better, look at that. Oh man, that is so much better for the light. If you like RGB, which I do, this gives off a much better light than the black switches with the light spreader, only because the light spreader can only push it through the front, whereas the HMX Chew switches with their milky housing, even a milky stem, so they can kind of push it everywhere. And yeah, so let's do a quick sound test. We'll go ahead and pause the music. This is HMX Chew, GMK Metropolis on the ERA75 by Womier. Ah, the aluminum inner key. All right. I think it came out really nice. I think that the chew switches really are a benefit. Especially when combined with the GMK. Gives it that solid, smooth bottom out. And yes, I will need to put a coat over it. I haven't decided if I'm going to go with high gloss, satin, or matte. I probably won't do the matte because I think the matte might break the color shift. So I'm thinking about going with the high gloss coat, which is a sealer, basically. So, let's see, we'll go back and find our... So this is the board. And I'm guessing it's going to be under software downloading. ERA75 via JSON file. There we go. So as I said, this is a VIA compatible keyboard, but it is only VIA compatible via a JSON file. Via a JSON file? Uh-oh. Don't you dare do that to me. There we go. Try now. Nope. Still not gonna work. Oh man, VIA's down. That's weird. Is it down for anybody else? Isn't there a download? Weird. Oh well. Well, we won't look at that then. But one thing I did want to show off is this. So this is something that I've been working on. This is the keyboard hub. This is going to be a place where everybody can come and they can put in their keyboard inventory. I currently have my own inventory in here. And you can take that out. And essentially you can keep track of all your keyboards. You can keep track of your builds because you can actually keep track of your keycap sets, your switches, your stabilizers, and then you can do things like, let's say, you can come in here and get the stats on it, but let's see here. Let's say I decided to put snow dianes into my zoom pad. I can just come in here. I can actually go up to the top where it says switch sets. I could type in snow diane. Comes up. I could come over here and type in zoom pad. I could type in zoom and it's going to give me all my zoom keyboards, of which apparently I have a lot. But we're going to go with the zoom pads, and then I'm going to just drag onto the keyboard, And you can see now it says that the snow dianes are in here. And then I like, oh, those didn't sound very good. So let's go back to the silver smoothies. Drag my silver smoothies on there. Now it lets me know that my silver smoothies are in my zoom pad. So it's really easy for you to change your different keyboard keycaps, switches, and stabilizers on your keyboards, or to keep track of them. And then if you were to, let's go into, not the zoom, let's go into my Athena 65, not my Athena 1800. And then, so I haven't added an image yet. So I'm gonna come over here and where's my image link? Did I get rid of my image link here? Oh, there we go. I moved it. Choose images. Then we'll go here and we'll add the so then we'll save it. And then now you can see that the image is here. And we have our you can say what you have in here. So I am using the I'm using no internal weight, but I do have a brass external weight. If I wanted to be more specific, I could have gone with other and then put in that it is a patinaed bullet brass. I am using a polycarbonate plate. It does not need a firmware or a JSON. Well, actually, I could upload the firmware. So that would be, but what's cool is that now I can create a build gallery item so that now you can actually go in here and you can see my build and rate it. I think it looks great, so I'm going to rate it a 5. See all the specs that I have. And the pictures. You could actually add multiple pictures, which I haven't tested yet, but and then that is in our build gallery, and you can add all your keyboards to the build gallery and let people rate it. You can then remove them from your personal gallery. One other thing that you can do is that this is actually going to build a community database of keyboards, switches, keycaps, and stabilizers, which are going to be accessible from the front page. So before you even log in to the website, you can actually go look at the build gallery. Hey, I'll have to fix that. You can also look at keyboards. My latest build. And this is still in the early stages, which is why this is going on. And I've instituted MFA. And then we can go in here, we can see all the specs. Normally there would be an image here, which there should be an image there. One of the cool things that I'm working on that is in the works is that you'll be able to come in and see and we'll have it look for it real quick. Let's see if it can find it. But it will look through vendors and it will find if there are any vendors in the recommended vendor list, like you can see here. So this now shows that there are 3 vendors that had the Zoom Pad Tiga, and only one of them has it currently in stock. So you can click on that and it will open it up. Again, this is still a work in progress. So it actually found the Zoom Pad Tiga add-ons page instead of the Zoom Pad Tiga itself. So I will have to talk to it about that. However, yes, and it's sold out. So this should have come up red. I'll fix that. But when it works, it's going to be cool. And you'll be able to see the different specifications for it. It should have the different specs related to it. Like this will tell you here that it's a numpad with a knob. It's hot swap PCB. It's wired Bluetooth 2.4 gigahertz. It uses QMK. It's gasket mounted. Has aluminum case, polycarbonate plate, no internal weight, and the bottom is made of glass. So that's my cool little keyboard hub that I'm working on. I don't know if any of our keyboard viewers think that this is cool or useful to you. Oh, I also like the fact that I have themes for different GMK keycap sets. So if you happen to like Symbiote, you can come in here. Kaiju doesn't work yet. I don't know why I keep picking it. You can be Greg. Panels is kind of weird. Striker. Got your bright blue. Black on white, white on black. Red Samurai and Blue Samurai, I think, are 2 of my stronger ones. Botanical. Just, you know, and I'm going to be adding more. We've got the purple and green for Mecha. Yeah, so that is pretty much it. I think it's cool, and I hope that it becomes something that people find useful. That did not come out well. I need to fix that. I condensed this down to 1 row. I think I needed to condense it down to 2. So I'll have to fix that. And I plan on filling out the rest of this, so at least we have a good base for everybody to use. Did I make any changes recently? No. All right. Well, I think that is about it. Do we have anybody streaming yet this morning? Let's see. Nope, it's a little bit early for anybody else to be streaming keyboards. So I think that I will end up wrapping up the stream. And yeah, so tune in next week. We'll be building a new keyboard. I'm not sure what it'll be, but it'll be something fun. And thank you for joining me, and I always appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the build. I hope you enjoyed how the paint came out. Let's take one last look at this. And I think it's going to end up being really cool. And yeah, I'll see you online. If you want to reach out to me, that'd be great. I love hearing from all the keyboards people. And I'll be checking out your NV70 build. And yeah, till next time, till next week, Sunday morning, coffee and keyboards. Keyboards and coffee. Thanks again. Have a great day.